The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.
Well, hi again, everyone, and welcome to the latest edition of Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com, heard every Saturday morning at 8:30 right here on LI News Radio. I'm Peter Schwartz, joined as always by Vinny Tickets. A little bit later on in the program, we're going to have our ticket giveaway and also our FOCO bobblehead giveaway, Vinny. And for people who listen to the show each week, they just heard the opening music. Normally it's something else. This time it was Billy Joel's Angry Young Man. And I think you probably have a hunch as to why we started with a different song.
I think we do. We have a very special guest today.
Absolutely. And in 2000, he started the Billy Joel cover band Big Shot. Now he is the Big Shot, one of the best singer-songwriters to come out of Long Island, and he's now a member of Billy Joel's band since 2013, and he joins us here on the program. Mike DelGuidice. Mike, it's Peter and Vinny. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well, guys. How you doing?
We're doing great. Thanks for spending a few minutes with us. And obviously, this is, a really special time for everybody involved with Billy, whether you're working for him like you do, or whether you're fans like Vinny and myself and so many people who listen. Obviously, Billy is winding down that residency at Madison Square Garden. He's got the big New Year's Eve show coming up at UBS Arena. For someone like yourself, who's been with him for so many years now, and started Big Shot, and you've created a huge name for yourself, a lot because of Billy, but also obviously because of your own talents. What has the last couple of months been like for you since he made that announcement, and how much are you looking forward to seeing the excitement of the residency winding down?
Well, I mean, it's bittersweet because obviously we don't want to see it wind down at all. But the craze has been just amazing, and the fans and the energy on the last couple of shows since the announcement has just been like off the charts. So every time we play there, it's always the greatest gig out of anywhere we play. But lately, it's been amplified quite a bit, and I'm sure it's going to happen even more as we wind down.
And when Billy announced that the residency at the Garden was ending, there was this panic by all of his fans, including myself. Wait a second, he's not going to perform anymore. He's not going to perform. He didn't say he was retiring. He just said the Garden residency was coming to an end. So what was the reaction like to people around you? Did people have this panic to you? Wait a minute, he's not going to perform anymore. What was the reaction to you, and what is the actual reality of Billy going forward as a performer?
The reality is that he was only talking about the residency, and everyone around me was obviously asking the same questions you are, but we knew we already had stadium gigs being booked through the year. So as of now, it's always kind of year to year, and it's up to Bill and how he's feeling, and if he's up to it and he's feeling like he wants to play, we'll keep playing. I don't see that stopping when the Garden stops, so to speak. But I can't really speak ever too much, further, because it's really based on what he wants to do. But no, he definitely didn't mention that we were going to be not playing anymore. So, but yeah, same people gave me the same reaction.
Yeah.
Are you done? Is your gig done? I'm like, no, the Garden's winding down, but as far as I know, we're still working. So, and grateful for that. You have of course.
Hey, Mike, Vinny here. So is it true that July is the final performance, and have they announced that date yet?
They haven't announced the date yet for the final, but it's definitely in July.
Okay.
So we're just waiting on that ourselves.
By the way, July 14th would be a good day because that's my birthday. So if you have any influence on Billy or the Garden, July 14th would be a good day for the last concert.
Listen, I'm not saying anything, but I'll do what I can.
No promises, Peter.
Absolutely.
No promises.
And also, Mike, we talked about this a little bit, obviously already, but Mike started Big Shot in 2000, and now Mike DelGuidice as a solo performer has so many great solo songs, Mona Lisa and Days of Old and Where Do the Heroes Go, and he still does the mix of Billy Joel songs and his own songs, and obviously some songs from other artists too. And you've got two big concerts coming up at the Paramount on Friday, November 17th and Saturday, November 18th. It's a concert weekend for veterans. And as you know, Mike, I've been with my wife to a bunch of your shows, whether it's at the Paramount or at Mulcahy's, and there's always so much energy in the room. How much do you still enjoy performing solo at those venues and other venues around the country and getting that reaction from the fans?
Yeah, never. It can never get old. When people show up, you're grateful just for that people even show up. And all the years I've been doing it, I'm still, every time I look out at an audience and I see people actually paid and came, it's a feeling that's hard to describe. It's just a very grateful feeling that we could even do what we love. And so I'm grateful for that. And the shows I always look forward to, the energy in the Paramount is always off the charts, especially on the Veterans Weekend. We just seem to have TD Bank gets involved, and it's just a really collaborative effort on the Paramount's part, and TD Bank and us, and it's just a nice show for the vets. We get vets up on stage, and we honor them the best we can, and it always seems to be a great weekend. So
and I'm sure you're going to sing "Goodnight Saigon" those two nights, right?
That's the one we usually go for that. Absolutely, it's always the go-to. And Heroes, obviously, I'll do that too. Mm-hmm. Then where do the heroes go out to them also? And it's cool now too, because we have, we are doing so much, more different material. So for us as a band, after doing a lot of the same stuff for a lot of years, it's exciting to just have a very open set list and be able to rock out and do a bunch of classic stuff, a bunch of my own stuff, and it feels nice. It adds fresh blood to the show.
That's great.
So, looking forward to it.
So Mike, growing up, and this may sound like a silly question, but your inspiration for music, I'm guessing part of that had to be Billy Joel growing up. But were there any other artists that you would attribute your musical talents to, or that you listened to growing up that you said, "Wow, one day I want to perform like"?
Yeah, I would say Chicago. I would say Elton John, right off the bat from my father's angle. A bunch of classic rock. Rush, I loved Rush. Bee Gees, and of course the Beatles. Beatles were, McCartney especially, just absolutely inspirational to me as a writer also. A lot of those bands, all the classic rock bands from that era, I was very into, but I loved Chicago, always loved Chicago. Bee Gees were, one of the early bands, a lot of harmonies and vocal stuff. I had some neighbors that had a band across the street, and I used to, kind of run over to the basement window and listen to all classic rock stuff. And so that's how I kind of got into the Zeppelin and everything else. So, I'm grateful to have had a lot of people around me that had, very different, loves of different types of music. My mother loved Streisand and Donna Summer and Linda Ronstadt, so we got that going in the house. My dad loved everything that was good. From country all the way, and my brother John was the classic rock guy. Joe was the pop guy. So I got some Barry Manilow, Air Supply, that kind of stuff. And
nice.
Pretty rounded. I'm grateful for the music that I grew up listening to.
Well, they do always say that if you find a job that you love, you really never have to work. And I guess if I had to choose something, I'd probably do what you're doing, but unfortunately can't carry a tune.
I think you've said that to me before, Mike. It doesn't feel like work anymore.
No, it's on your worst day when you're grumbling because you had to go a couple extra hours or wait in an airport or do this or do that. It's just like, oh, shut up. You spoiled brat. Shut up. You got the best gig in the world.
Yep.
And if there's any work to it, the work would be the time away from home. That would be that's the part that for me feels like work, because I just love to be home and around the family. So it's, I don't like being away too long from family. So aside from that, everything is pudding. It really is. I'm just grateful to be able to do it. It's a blessing. It really is.
We have a couple of minutes left with Mike DelGuidice from Billy Joel's band. Tours the world with Billy Joel, also performs solo, and he's got two big shows coming up November 17th and November 18th at the Paramount. A little bit later in the show, we're going to be giving away 4 tickets to one of those shows. It'll be the winner's choice, and that's coming up in just a few minutes. I don't think I've ever asked you this in other interviews we've done before, but throughout the residency, Billy has had any number of tremendous other performers that have joined him, on stage. It's Bruce Springsteen and Miley Cyrus, just to name a couple. There's been so many in the years of the residency. Give me a performer or two that came on stage with Billy that you really said, wow, like I'm on the same stage as this person.
I've loved Brian Johnson from AC/DC. I'm still going to go down and say that he's number one for me. It's just his energy, and I love AC/DC. That was a thrill. Miley was awesome. I had a nice moment with her on stage singing some Zeppelin at the end of You May Be Right. She came running over and we were both jamming. So it was fun. And there's so many great. Billy Gibbons was just a gentleman. I mean, like just a really, really great dude. There's been a lot, Tony Bennett, real sweet man. Sting, obviously, we got something coming up with him now in Tampa. So,
I saw that. The big show, Raymond James Stadium.
Yeah, it's so surreal, like you grow up, watch these people, and then you see them all. I'm a big John Mayer fan. Got to meet John, talk about Continuum, my favorite album, one of my favorite albums. And so it's weird. It's surreal to be able to meet some of these people. And I'm not, I don't like to bother any of them, so I don't run up. Hey, I'm not like that. But
Mike, you don't ask them to sign your guitar for you?
I just kind of sit back and I'm like, this is cool.
Yeah.
This is pretty cool.
Hey,
great.
That's really the feeling that it is. It's like, wow, this is pretty cool.
Mike, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with us. Hope to see you at one of the Paramount shows November 17th or 18th. And obviously, best of luck as the Billy Joel residency winds down. But he's not going anywhere. You'll still see Mike on stage with Billy. That's not ending. But thank you, Mike DelGuidice, for spending a few minutes with us here on the show.
One more shameful plug.
Sure.
16th, new album coming out November 16th. New collection, I should.
Oh, I can't wait for that. Mona Lisa is my favorite song that you do.
Yeah, and that's part of this record. So it's a really big, as far as like a lot of songs, a lot of tunes on there, a bunch of years putting the collection together. So not that most people listen to new music anymore, but there's the shameful.
Nothing shameful about it, Mike. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, brother. Thank you, guys. I appreciate your time.
Thanks. Take care. Mike DelGuidice from Billy Joel's band. Don't forget, catch him November 17th and 18th at the Paramount. And when we come back, we're going to give away 4 tickets to one of those shows and also a Foco bobblehead. It's coming up right after this here on Sports Bash. Welcome back to Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com here on LI News Radio, heard every Saturday morning at 8:30 right here on 103.9 FM. I'm Peter Schwartz, joined by Vinny Tickets, and again, a little different theme of the show. Not a sports guest this week, but obviously an iconic musical guest, Mike DelGuidice from Billy Joel's band. And
what a nice guy.
Oh, he's tremendous. I don't know if you've ever met him before, but I've met him several times. He's become a really good acquaintance over the years. Seen him solo, but his solo show is phenomenal, and we're about to give away tickets to one of them. But if you have the chance to go see him either at the Paramount or Mulcahy's in Wantagh here on Long Island, you have to see him, because it's not just about the Billy Joel music. He has some tremendous solo songs. I had mentioned before, Mona Lisa and Days of Old and Where Did the Heroes Go, and he mixes in Billy and other performers too. He covers their music as well. It's a great show.
Yeah, don't forget November 16th, dropping his album.
November said he's obviously gonna debut some of those songs at the 2 shows. So we're gonna keep an eye on that. So to that point, it is time to give away 4 tickets to see Mike DelGuidice in concert at the Paramount. The winner will have a choice: 4 tickets for Friday, November 17th, or 4 tickets for Saturday, November 18th. So this is what you have to do. You have to text to 631-250-6888. What do they have to text to that?
Sports Bash. And they don't have to specify to enter the contest. Let's just clarify that.
Right.
Just send in to that number, 631-250-6888, the word Sports Bash and your name. You'll be entered into the contest. When we pick the winner on Monday, we'll ask them which show they prefer to go to.
Right. So we'll get in touch with you and you'll be able to let us know which show you want to go to, either Friday, November 17th, Saturday, November 18th. And again, you're going to want to text your name and Sports Bash to 631-250-6888. So best of luck to everyone in the contest, and looking forward to seeing you guys out at the show one of those 2 nights. We have another giveaway that we have to take care of some business.
Our good friends over at FOCO.
Our good friends at FOCO. People can't see it on the radio, but they'll see some videos online, and you can see this. It's the Saquon Barkley Giants throwback jersey bobblehead. And they do great work. I mean, they have sent over some amazing stuff that we're going to give away over the next few weeks, and there's more stuff to come. But it's a wonderful, it's got the Giants throwback uniform, Saquon Barkley, New York Giants bobblehead from FOCO, and here's what you have to do to win that. So again, same text number, but this time you're going to text your name and FOCO, F-O-C-O, to 631-250-6888. That's your name and FOCO to 631-250-6888. I've had to keep my kids away from the box that came from FOCO. Be like, what's in there? What's in there? Anything for us? I'm like, no, it's for the show. Don't worry about it. I'm sure our friends at FOCO will send over some more stuff in the upcoming weeks. But they do some great work, and we gave away a Patrick Ewing bobblehead last week. And I believe next week, I think we're giving away a Yankee bobblehead. I think it's a Yankee bobblehead next week. It's Yankees or Rangers. I forgot what we have on the schedule, but those are coming up really, really soon.
That's great.
So Artemi Panarin is the Ranger one. And we've got a Yankee All-Star bobble. I think that's what's coming up next week. But stay tuned to our social media, and we'll let you know what's going on with that. And now it's the time of the week where we like to put Vinny on the spot. It's the question of the week. It has to do with the ticket industry, and usually, and I'm not really putting you on the spot because usually I do. I'd never tell you what the question is going to be. But this week I got so excited about the topic that I texted you a link to a story. I'm like, we have to talk about this, so I'm preparing you for it. So the New York Jets sent out an email to their season ticket holders this week, alerting them of a huge ticket increase for next year's season tickets for 2024. And remember, we expect Aaron Rodgers to come back next year. Some may say he's coming back this year, but I'll believe that when I see it. But they have a huge, and I saw people online saying that their tickets went up anywhere between $400 and $1,000 per ticket. And remember, the Jets will have one less home game next year. This year, they got the extra home game, the 9th home game. Next year, it's the 2 preseason games, or I think it's 2 preseason games and the 8 regular season games. So from your perspective, being in the ticket industry, what was your reaction to seeing that news? And do you sympathize with the season ticket holders having to deal with this and having to pay by the middle of November?
Yeah. So when it comes to ticket pricing, it's always nice to have an opportunity to give a family an experience to go to an event. And the New York Jets have always been one of the greatest values to see a professional team play. People would say, well, I want to take my kid to a football game. I want to take him to a Giant game. I said, well, if you're taking 10 or 15 people, you might want to consider going to a Jet game. Jets were always priced a lot less than a Giant game. But like anything else that, we go back to high school economics, supply side economics, supply and demand, economics 101, supply and demand. There was a huge demand for Jet tickets this year, and simple supply and demand will tell you the prices had to go up because of the limited supply of the ticket availability. So I think that it is sad that the experience, is not available to the regular family. It's now going to be 50, 80% higher to go to that game now, which it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. And remember, it's, for speaking for a family that lives here on Long Island, to make it all the way to New Jersey, you've got the parking, you've got the gas, you got food, you got souvenirs. It becomes, forget about the pricing. It becomes a really long day to spend.
Forget about the $20 beer.
The $20 beer. I mean, you're investing a whole day. So if you're going to invest the whole day, it's going to become not just from the tickets. It's going to cost you big bucks just for everything else that goes along with going to a football game.
Absolutely. But remember, you always have the opportunity to jump on a bus, go to TicketBash.com.
Right. Have the tailgate party too.
Bus and the tailgate.
To that point, it is the big sports event in New York this week. And there are still tickets available on TicketBash.com. Vinny just mentioned the bus that is available to take. If you don't want to drive out to MetLife Stadium, you can take the bus. And then when you get there, if you don't want to worry about bringing your grill with you, or you don't want to stop at the deli or at the supermarket to get your food, TicketBash has your tailgate party all set up in the parking lot. And it is the Jets and the Giants tomorrow. It is a Giants home game. Remember that. What has the ticket interest been, and what would the get-in price, and that's the industry term, get-in price, what can people expect to pay to get into the building tomorrow?
Well, on the TicketBash site, there's always two ways to buy a TicketBash. We have a text-a-ticket service that you could use where you could text our office, deal direct with an experienced coordinator, or go on our site. There's never going to be a service fee. So right now, the get-in to go to that game is around $250. No fees, though.
No fees. Never a fee at TicketBash.com.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And that's actually, I looked at it earlier in the week, and I think maybe because the Giants, although the Giants won last week, I think the fact that they don't have a winning record or not as good a record as the Jets, maybe the interest on the Giant fan might be a little lower. I think the price dropped a tick from where it was this time last week. So I think the price may have dropped a tick, but still, it's always good to keep an eye on it. And again, there's tickets available, and there's still time to make plans to get out to MetLife Stadium tomorrow.
It's supposed to be a beautiful day tomorrow.
Absolutely. So that's obviously a huge game. The Jets coming 3-3, coming off their bye week, and historically, the Jets don't do well after the bye week the last few years. So that could be a little bit of trouble. But listen, with all due respect to the Saquon Barkley bobblehead doll right here and the Giants, I hope the Jets, crush the bobbles, the Saquons of the world on Sunday.
Me too.
Mostly, I'm very, very nervous about this game. This is like one of those games that some Jet fans are thinking this is a slam dunk. I don't think there's never a slam dunk with the Jets. Never, ever a slam dunk. Some other big games coming up. The Islanders are hosting Detroit on Monday night at UBS Arena. The Rangers are back home Thursday at the Garden against Carolina. The Knicks will play Cleveland on Wednesday at the Garden at 7:30, and the Nets back at Barclays Center on their home court on Saturday, November 4th against Boston at 8 o'clock. Now that will do it for this edition of Sports Bash here on LI News Radio, presented by TicketBash.com. Thanks to our guest, Mike DelGuidice from Billy Joel's band, and also performing solo on November 17th and 18th at the Paramount here on Long Island. So also thanks to FOCO for our Saquon Barkley bobblehead giveaway this week. For Vinny Tickets, I'm Peter Schwartz saying thank you for listening. And don't forget to join us for Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com, every Saturday morning at 8:30 right here on LI News Radio.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.